What up, Dokkaners? Both versions of the game did receive a not top grossing reward, and we have the LR Prime Battle Babidi Buu Extreme Challenge campaign coming up soon. So I wanted to talk about both of these things. Yes, this is late, I am aware, but I still wanted to cover this in this video because we've pretty much taken care of everything else that we can for now. There is now going to be probably a couple of days wait before the next, little iterations of content will be dropping. So I figured this would be a good opportunity to sort of catch up on anything that I have missed. So the worldwide campaign celebration. No, this is not regarding worldwide download celebration. This is simply their way of giving us the top grossing rewards without getting top grossing, because we didn't get it, I would imagine, which is why we are doing this. Now, the question is, did JP get top grossing and global didn't? I don't believe JP did, because usually I see something circulating on social media. Although, to be fair, I've been streaming a lot on Twitch lately, so maybe I haven't seen that. Make sure you guys follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Shinrami. I'm going to pin that link in the comment down below. But we've been going through Stellar Blade like crazy. Anyway, whether or not one version got top grossing or the other one didn't, sometimes when they do this sort of thing, it's basically just to give the illusion of success. Well, not exactly illusion of success. The game is still successful, but they try to still do these types of things to kind of keep morale up, because I feel like after 9 years of Dokkan, when we used to regularly hit top grossing for any random celebration, when things start to simmer down a little bit, it could give a sense that maybe the lack of top grossing might sort of allude to the lack of success in the game. So maybe that's why they do it. Maybe it's just to show goodwill. But regardless, whatever the circumstances are, both versions are getting 30 Dragon Stones. This is pretty much what people would equate to top grossing. Speaking of, I usually do a top grossing speculation video before, actually right after a banner drops, just to see if maybe something could be coming up for global. I want to go and just see what the numbers are, so we're going to do that. But both versions get 30 stones, Kai's, Hercule statues, meat, and most importantly, box. No, that's not true. Most importantly, Dragon Stones, and then whale problems, box space. So this actually, both versions got that. This is not just a global thing. Both versions got the box space. And let's just translate this real quick. Character slots, and yeah, there you go. So now let's go through the numbers. So how this works is for JP, top grossing functions very differently. During any given interval, if a bunch of apps are competing for top grossing, if an app just eclipses and reaches #1 at any point during the day, boom, they get top grossing. That's it. That's why in just mere matter of hours, JP typically gets a top grossing announcement. For global, it takes several days. The reason for that is because global spans the entire planet and not just Japan, and every region has to have their own individual interval to tabulate their numbers. And for them, top grossing is calculated by who ends the day at #1. So if you're leading the charge throughout the day, and then the final 10 seconds of the 24-hour cycle, if you drop to #2, you lose top grossing. So it's very different for global, which is another reason why top grossing can sometimes be a little bit more challenging for regions to hit that mark. So a lot of different factors, but let's go through this. So this is day 1, or this is day 0 of the banner releasing. So for me in California, it drops on the 25th, right? So April 25th at 9 p.m. Typically what we do when we look over top grossing is to see the day after this, because the day after is after, like, once enough stone sales have gone through and then each region has had a little bit of time, you start to see some of the numbers start to take shape on the first day. So this is the 25th. This doesn't count. This is for the iOS store. After one day, things start to fall in line. Like, look at the difference between the 25th with all these crazy numbers and then the 26th, all these green arrows everywhere, right? Unfortunately, there are no #1s in all categories, and there aren't even any ones in all games. So we're not looking good either way. Hong Kong couldn't do it, Macau couldn't do it, Madagascar, France, all the usual elite regions could not hit #1 in any of these categories. So let's just say, for example, JP got top grossing, but global got this. JP gets 30 stones and global doesn't. On a joint celebration, no less, that's not gonna look too good. So that's why they went with that. And if we really wanted to get the #1s, we would have to go down to games in action, which is a little too far typically for them to justify doing the top grossing moniker. Doesn't quite work. Let's move on to the next day. I want to see if anything changes after that. The following day? No, it's back down. So there's all sorts of different reasons for this. Competing apps, circumstances on global, worldwide download, full synchro, all sorts of things like that. But regardless, no region did well. On the Android side, it's usually just a massive jungle. We never do well in Dokkan on the Android side, but let's just check. For Android, it takes like 2 or 3 days to actually kick in. I am recording this video in May, so it's already been a couple of days. I mean, look at that. So things start to kind of fall in line, but on the Android side, there's all sorts of, you know, there's even more apps on the Android side. So yeah, there's no shot for us there, except for like maybe marquee celebrations. So yeah, no game is top grossing, no overall game in action. There's 2 of them at number 1. If we go to 29th and 30th, I feel like at that point it's over. Yeah, at that point it's over. So those are just some of the numbers. But anyway, that is why worldwide campaign thing showed up in your game and we got all this. Just don't ask. It's great. You know, we got free stones. That's all we care about. So now let's move on to the other topic of this video, the Prime Battle, a legendary extremely whatever. What is it called? This one, Legendary Extreme Challenge Campaign. So this starts on the 8th at 2 a.m. until the 30th. So that's gonna be the same time that intensifying fights drops a couple hours prior, and then after that, so it's first intensifying fights, then a couple hours later, this campaign will start, and then the following night, Super Battle Road drops, and that's essentially all that we've got left until part 2, for which we have a ton of the data already, but we will be getting more soon. So as far as the Legendary Extreme Challenge campaign, I've had a little bit of time to look over this LR unit, and I gotta say, I think this unit's actually not bad. I think the unit is actually pretty decent. For a free-to-play unit, no less, and a Prime Battle, this is actually a pretty decent character. For one thing, first of all, both supers can stat pad, which is good. On top of that, both supers have a 50% chance to do each. 50% chance to seal and 50% chance to stun, meaning you have a 25% chance of either one of these things not wait hang on, how does that work? 50%. Yeah, so it would be either or. So 25% chance of nothing happening, or 25% chance of both happening, right? Hold on, I'm hurting my brain here. Wait, the probability of A is a seal, that's 50%. Probability of B, which is stun, 50%. The probability of either one of those scenarios not happening is also 50%. So the intersection of those two probabilities would be 1/4, 25%. The intersection of neither one of them happening is 25%. The intersection of one happening and one not happening is also 25%, which means everything is just 25%. So I was right. Sorry, I think my brain broke for a second. My bad. Anyway, the point is, this is a pretty good set of abilities where both things could happen in any given turn, giving you more coverage, giving you more likelihood things can happen. As you've seen in the Babidi's Forces Red Zone event, the more things that you can do now, the better. Lowering attack, stunning, sealing, you name it. So a unit that can basically give you the chance to do both improves your odds in general. Compounding that with the fact that you can actually launch multiple supers actually gives this unit a little bit more to give on these types of events. Of course, he's still not going to be hitting as hard, not being able to tank as much, but let's go over the unit's passive. So both greatly raise attack and defense, greatly raise attack and defense, yada, yada, yada. Now for the passive key, +5 attack and defense, +150, plus an additional attack and defense, +50% when supering, launches an additional attack that has a high chance of becoming a super attack, high chance to dodge. D +3 attack and defense, +50, launches an additional super attack when the target enemy has a status effect. Any sort of status effect, if you have it, you will automatically launch an additional super attack. So if you, let's say, you know, maybe you need to stun a unit and you were unable to stun it, but you were able to seal it on the first go around, then the second one will happen because of this, and you get extra stats and you will hit a little bit harder for it. So I think that's actually going to be very convenient. Plus an additional key, +3 in all enemies, attack and defense -20% for 4 turns after dodging. This also had some utility because in the off chance, which is very likely, you're not getting a whole lot of synergy from your teammates, the extra key will help. If this unit needs to be a slot 1 character, it can. It's not the greatest. It's only a 50% chance to dodge with no damage reduction, no guard, but still, this will give you probably a better chance at a slot 1 defense than maybe a lot of other free-to-play units. So you will get some key and you will also nerf the enemy. So this also has some weight now, or at least in the Babidi's Forces Red Zone event, hopefully with more events down the road. So this is also decent, and then 10% at the end of the turn after an attack is received. So all of these things together does create a pretty promising unit. I think a lot of people, myself included, were a little bit too quick to judge. Not that I was totally judging, but I was a little apprehensive about this. But of course, we will render final judgment when we get to see the unit in action, which is why showcases are so useful. Now, in terms of synergy, that's the problem. This unit just does not link up very well with a lot of units. If we look at the Dokkan API, best link buddies are Babidi Deborah, who, by the way, just got an EZA on JP. So we will eventually be getting this on global. So if you are a fan of the Majin Buu Saga free-to-play side, or just the category in general, this might be a good unit to pick up just for these two combinations, or these two units together. But then, of course, the 8-year anniversary free-to-play unit does work just fine. The Babidi right here is a pretty decent unit in terms of synergy, but you're probably not worrying so much about that. Links in general are just weird for this guy. So, I mean, look at, you're just all over the place. This also kind of just speaks to how bad villains are in general. But yeah, so link-wise, kind of weird. But still, I think people are a little too quick to write off this character. So I hope that we will see some surprising and good things from this character when we get that EZA, which will be coming up. How do you do it? This is the new squad that you need, and it is weird, but it is all Majin Buu Saga. So I actually have the team, and they can all fit either Earthbred fighters, or they could fit all Majin Buu Saga. So you need the Hercule, you need the, hold on, let me just show you. You need Hercule, you need the various versions of Gohan Videl, also Gohan Trunks and Goten, and then the 2 failure fusions. So you need all of these to be rainbowed and EZA. In order to rainbow unit, they have to be either SA20 for an LR or SA10. Actually, no. What am I saying? All of these units have to be SA10 to rainbow. That is how much you need to actually hit all the nodes on a unit's hidden potential. And then, of course, as many copies as it takes. For free to play, that's very easy. You don't have to get them to SA15. So if you don't have these characters and you're trying to farm them out, feel free to just go for the bare minimum and get them rainbowed and get them EZA. That's all you got to do. If you're new to this is a pretty intimidating thing to do, because there are a lot of units, and you might find yourself, especially if you're trying to catch up with other Prime Battle EZAs, having to go down the rabbit hole of farming a ton of free-to-play units. Yes, this is annoying, and yes, this is something that I'm sure a lot of people don't enjoy doing, but the sooner you do this, the easier it'll be for future Prime Battle EZAs. They do this because they want to make the free-to-play side relevant for these certain goals, and this is the way to do it. So if you don't have these characters, I would recommend you farm them out. The good thing about this particular category, Majin Buu Saga, is that it has the most robust library of free-to-play characters. Overall, probably the best selection in general. So this is going to be one of the categories that is more worth your time to actually go in and try to farm out. So that being said, once you have all of these characters, you can then access that limited event, which will be coming up in a few days. And then you can get the real prize. Now, the good thing about this legendary and extreme challenge campaign is that we also have some rewards coming along with it. So the missions for this, recruit the Babidi from the Prime Battle event and get him all the way to the LR status, will get you 10 Dragon Stones between the next, well, from basically when this started for the next few days. So you don't have that much time to do this, but that's 10 free stones. And I highly recommend you do it. Now, the best part about getting this unit to the LR, I did this on a live stream recently, and I kid you not, I was farming up the SA5 copy because I figured, you know what, let me take advantage of the legendary campaign. It was totally worth it. I was able to effortlessly earn 777 medals from this event, and this is the first time that I ever did it. And it's just made me realize how much of a dummy I've been all this time trying to do the Prime Battle grind when it initially comes out. It is so taxing, it is so mind-numbingly boring that it's, to be honest, I would say it probably rivals World Tournament in terms of just how much I hate it. So the fact that now with the campaign, the stamina has been cut in half, the category boost is there, you are able to do more runs within one stamina bar than ever, and you can also do them much more, you can get a bunch more extra. So this is what I did. I did not use the boost, but I did run 12 stamina per run. I would bring this team right here with as many LRs as I could, which is these. You need, what is the category? Majin Buu Saga. Actually, wait, hold on a second. Can I add the LR Deborah Babidi? Did I not do that before? Majin Buu Saga. Oh, no, you can't. Okay. These three you can. So anyway, I got my drop rate as high as possible. I used the support memory. I was getting 50, 60 medals in one go. I kid you not. It was on my live stream. I think I had like 280 something stamina, and I got down to about this much. So I think I spent like maybe 200, 250 total stamina in one bar, and I went from like 20 medals to 787 in one sitting. It was fast. It took me about 40 minutes, and it was very, very easy. So this is one of those times that farming the Super Attack 5 is 100% worth it because it's very easy to do. So I would recommend that you guys do it. And you can also get that free 10 Dragonstone reward for getting to the LR status before the 8th of May. And then the other mission comes from the actual campaign itself. You get 20 Dragonstones, getting it to the LR again. That's going to start on the 8th. So as soon as this one ends, that one will begin. Typically, these are separated, or they've used to be separated. Now they've just conjoined them together. So 10 stones beforehand, 20 stones after the fact, and that will go on until the 30th. And then you'll be getting more for actually doing the steps of EZAing. So all in all, 20 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5, 35 plus another 10, 45. 45 plus the 30 from this makeshift top grossing. That's 75 Dragonstones just between these two things that I'm talking about here for basically nothing at all. 100% worth the grind, 100% worth the effort. So even if you have not farmed up any of these characters, just do it. What else are you doing right now, right? We're waiting for the next batch of content. We are very happy with the state of Dokkan right now. We're just taking it easy. So during this time, farm up those free-to-plays. There is absolutely no harm in that. Anyway, now I'm gonna go now. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like down below. In the comments, your thoughts on the LR Babidi Boo. Do you think this unit has some good potential? Do you think this unit is just bad? You're writing it off. What is your optimal? Oh yeah, you know what? I forgot to say. What is your optimal build? Yeah. So as far as the optimal build for the character, I feel like, I went for a blend of everything, but I think the most important thing is to go for the dodge, because above all else, this is a free-to-play running amongst summonable characters, most likely. So if you are going to be running this character, you've already got additionals sort of built in here. And of course, since he's a physical character, you get natural additional. So if you want to throw more additional, you definitely can. I think dodge will be better to make this unit more consistent defensively, either in slot 1 or slot 2 or 3. High chance plus whatever dodge you give will just make him that much more consistent. Not guaranteed. You get the extra key as a result. You also provide a group nerf as a result. So these types of things you typically get from links, right? If you think about it, P comes from links sometimes. You can get group nerfs because of links as well. If this unit doesn't synergize very well with your Majin Buu Saga team, you still get these effects without the need of an actual link, just by dodging. So I think that focusing on dodge number 1 is the most important thing. After that, if you want to go for additional to pad those stats as much as possible, you could. But I went a little bit further, and I also gave this character some critical, just so that the unit can cover all its bases. So this is what I did ultimately for the build. 11 additional, just natural additional, 11 crit, and 20 dodge. So 50% chance and a 20% chance will be calculated every single time a dodge possibly happens. So that is my build. So anyway, back to what I was saying. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like down below in the comments. See what you think about the LR Babidi Boo. Good, bad, not really, whatever. How do you build this unit's hidden potential? Do you have all of your free-to-play characters ready? And what are your thoughts on Dokkan giving us this makeshift top grossing reward? Do you think top grossing could still happen during part 2? Do you think Kid Buu could bring us top grossing on global? Let me know all of your thoughts and more in the comments down below. Also, be sure to subscribe for more Dokkan content in the future and click the notification bell so that you let YouTube know you want to see more of my stuff. Do it. Thanks again. Stay tuned, and always remember to Dokkan responsibly.